In the headlines for this hour on VTV News, Party General Secretary meets with Chinese Defense Minister. And Prime Minister attends the Vietnam International Defense Expo 2024 opening ceremony. Later on in our news, Russian President chairs annual press conference and call-in program.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi. You're watching VTV News. On December 19, Party General Secretary and Secretary of the Central Military Commission Tô Lâm met with Chinese Defense Minister General Dong Jun, who attended the celebration marking the 80th anniversary of the Vietnam People's Army. General Secretary Tô Lâm highlighted the importance of General Dong Jun's visit, which concretizes the high-level consensus on strengthening defense and security cooperation, a key pillar of the Vietnam-China relationship. Minister Dong Jun affirms China's commitment to the two countries' traditional friendship between the party, state, and armies. He also emphasized the readiness of the People's Liberation Army of China to work with the Vietnam People's Army in promoting comprehensive, substantive cooperation, contributing to the strategic Vietnam-China community of a shared future. Prime Minister Phie and many other party and state officials attended the Vietnam International Defense Expo 2024 opening ceremony in Hanoi on the morning of December 19th.
Vietnam International Defense Exhibition 2024 opened with participation from 66 international delegations, including several defense ministers and representatives of over 240 defense enterprises from 49 countries. Speaking at the event, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh underscored its significance, marking the 80th anniversary of the Vietnam People's Army and the 35th National Defense Day. The Prime Minister described Vietnam as a nation of unwavering determination to defend its sovereignty, emphasizing its peace-loving nature.
Vietnam is committed to building a revolutionary, disciplined, elite, and modern military with a robust defense capability designed to safeguard the nation proactively and from a strategic bulwark. The country's strategic vision includes developing a self-reliant, dual-use, modern, and internationally integrated defense industry. The Vietnam International Defense Exhibition 2024 highlights the nation's role in global defense cooperation, symbolizing trust, mutual respect, and a shared commitment to peace and stability. It also reflects international support for Vietnam, its people, and the heroic Vietnam People's Army, showcasing the country's sincerity and responsibility in fostering global partnerships.
Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh underlined Vietnam's commitment to the Four Nos defense policy while prioritizing integrating science and technology in the defense industry to enhance military capacity and economic development, serve national interests, and improve livelihoods. With the theme Peace, Cooperation, Mutual Development, the Prime Minister expressed confidence in the success of the Vietnam International Defense Exhibition 2024.
At Wednesday reception in Hanoi for delegations of aerospace, defense, and security companies affiliated with the U.S. ASEAN Business Council's USABC, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh underlined the importance of U.S. support for training a quality workforce for emerging industries. He urged American firms to work closely with their Vietnamese partners to enhance trade, technology transfer, investment, and manufacturing cooperation. He suggested that the USABC and U.S. firm advocate for U.S. government to strengthen sustainable economic, trade, and investment cooperation between the two countries, recognize Vietnam as a market economy, and remove Vietnam from the list of countries subject to restrictions on high-tech exports. Long Thanh International Airport is expected to begin its first phase of operations by the end of 2026. However, progress on connecting road infrastructure remains slow due to delays in land clearance and funding shortages, with some projects yet to commence construction. Meanwhile, the limited existing routes are already operating at full capacity, exacerbating congestion concerns.
Land clearance issues continue to hinder progress at the intersection of the Bien Hoa, Vung Tau Expressway, and Long Thanh International Airport.
The current position is at the location of the tunnel at KM 29. The house is still inhabited, and the land has not been cleared.
Plans to enhance connectivity to Long Thanh International Airport include major infrastructure projects, such as Ring Roads 3 and 4, the Bien Hoa Vung Tau Expressway, and 3 provincial roads. However, all these projects face significant challenges with land clearance.
It can only be accessed by an express bus, and in order to take the bus, Long Thanh Expressway needs to add 10 more lanes. This has to be done right now because I heard that this expansion won't be completed until 2027.
Despite delays, the government is intensifying efforts to accelerate key transport projects. Local authorities are also adopting special mechanisms to expedite land clearance and identify sources for fill materials.
The tax sector has achieved its state budget collection target 1 month ahead of schedule, reaching the highest level ever recorded. Domestic revenue has exceeded 1.4 billion Vietnam dong, with 60 out of 63 localities surpassing their revenue estimates this year. Additionally, 19 out of 20 regions' revenue items and tax rate have exceeded projections. To boost economic development resources, the tax sector is intensifying collection efforts in the year's final days, aiming to collect 245,000 billion Vietnam dong above the estimate. The General Department of Taxation had also launched an electronic information portal where households and business individuals can register for e-commerce tax declarations and payments. With over 80% of its land covered by forest and forestry land, Bắc Cạn Province has prioritized sustainable forestry development as a key strategy to improve residents' livelihoods. However, the vast forest area in remote regions falls short of their potential due to the lack of accessible roads. In light of this, the province has been advancing in forest road constructions to unlock the full economic value of its forest resources.
Previously, the absence of wide roads meant many residents had to rely on motorbikes to transport harvested timber. This limitation restricted the value of a hectare of harvested forest to a little over 3,000 USD, 80 million VND. Today, thanks to newly built forestry roads, these locals can use vehicles to access and transport timber. As a result, the value of acacia forest per hectare has increased tenfold.
Previously, we mainly transported timber using buffaloes and horses, so the economic yields were significantly lower than they are now.
The government has financed forestry road construction while encouraging residents to donate land for road development. To promote sustainable forestry development and enhance the value of forestry, Bắc Cạn has prioritized infrastructure investment.
The construction of forestry roads has produced encouraging results, improving locals' livelihoods and stabilizing their lives.
The Provincial Forestry Road Project, approved until 2025, plans 272 routes totaling over 490 kilometers. To date, approximately 200 routes have been completed. However, this figure represents only a fraction of the target needed to develop an efficient forest economy.
The demand for forestry roads across the locality, 2,000 kilometers, is relatively large. We will propose further investment in forestry roads to the People's Committee to boost socio-economic development.
Many residents have built spacious homes funded by income from harvesting production forests. The impetus to plant, protect, and care for forests is gaining momentum in Baccan, positioning the province as one of the nation's leaders in forestry growth and conservation.
Decree 57, which regulates dredging activities in seaport waters and inland waterways, has been in effect since July this year, accompanied by a guiding circular. However, new provisions to ease processes for businesses and contractors will not be implemented for more than a year. This delay is causing significant challenges and obstacles for businesses.
The channel requires annual dredging and maintenance, which the port company fully funds and manages. However, the bidding process for these works is time-consuming. Securing approval for a suitable dumping site alone takes 5 to 6 months.
We must prepare 6 to 8 months in advance to conduct annual dredging, reducing this timeline to 3 to 4 months. Will allow us to be more proactive in our dredging efforts, ultimately extending the available time for the work.
Under Decree 57, enterprises are allowed to secure their own funding for dredging and maintaining public channels. However, despite the decree taking effect 6 months ago, contractors must wait until early 2026 before being assigned dredging projects for the next 3 to 5 years. This delay presents a significant challenge for businesses.
We urge the investor to swiftly implement a standard maintenance contract for 3 to 5 years to maximize the decree's effectiveness. This will enable contractors to deploy equipment and personnel proactively, optimize construction during favorable weather conditions, and ensure the project's quality and timely completion, all while minimizing costs and saving the state budget.
We have developed a dredging plan for 2025, which has been submitted to the Ministry of Transport. The Ministry will review the plan and work with the Ministry of Finance to secure funding for its implementation. Once this is in place, contractors will continue work post-construction.
The delay in implementing new, progressive regulations not only wastes valuable opportunities, but also undermines business needs.
Coming up next on VTV News, Vietnam International Defense Expo 2024 demonstrates nation's defense self-reliance. Tourism expected to contribute to 10 to 13% of GDP by 2030. Welcome back to VTV News. The 12th Vietnam-India People's Friendship Festival officially kicks off in Vĩnh Phúc province on the evenings of December 18th. The event, which will run for 6 days, includes a series of forums, meetings, and cultural exchanges in Hanoi, Vĩnh Phúc, and Ho Chi Minh City. This festival provides an opportunity for the two countries to enhance cultural exchanges, share experiences, and strengthen cooperation in the fields of economic, cultures, and society.
At the opening ceremony, the Indian delegation presented a variety of traditional dance and musical performances. Ritika, a 16-year-old from Tamil Nadu, performed the traditional Karakatam dance for the first time in Vietnam, showcasing her confidence and talent.
I was really amazed by your history, your culture, and everything that I've witnessed here, the architecture, the religion, the type of food you guys eat, and it was really wonderful experiencing the culture that we follow, the humanity of our nation. I'll be glad to perform that over here.
Vietnamese artists also contributed to the festival, presenting performances such as the conical hat and rural paintings, helping to promote cultural exchange between the two nations.
We are bringing contemporary folk dances as well as the most distinctive traditional folk dances of Vietnam to share with our international friends. We hope to leave a beautiful impression of Vietnamese culture and people on our Indian friends.
This year's festival has seen participation from a wide range of delegates. including artists, politicians, scholars, and students from both Vietnam and India.
This event serves as a forum and an opportunity for the people of Vietnam and India to meet, exchange information, and strengthen mutual understanding. It also highlights the efforts of both nations' governments and peoples in promoting socio-economic development and enhancing the long-standing friendship.
Our delegation is here to strengthen and promote our relations with the Vietnamese people in different spheres like in tourism, in education, among young people, and also to develop more trade between India and Vietnam.
On the afternoon of December 18th, the Indian delegation met with the Vinh Phuc Provincial Party Committee. Both sides discussed opportunities to expand cooperation between Vinh Phuc and Indian localities and businesses. The Indian delegation will continue its cultural exchange activities in Vinh Phuc and Ho Chi Minh City until December 21st.
During a meeting with the National Fund for Vietnamese Children and FVC Sponsorship Councils on Thursday, Vice State President Võ Thị Ánh Xuân emphasized Vietnam's commendable efforts in social work, despite the unpredictable global developments impacting the domestic socio-economic situations and the effect of natural disasters and storms. Vietnam's efforts to protect vulnerable groups, especially children, have been highly praised by the international community. The NFVC has played a significant role in this achievement. Vice State President Võ Thị Ánh Xuân highlighted that today's children are the key source for realizing the nation's future aspirations. She urged the Council to continue innovating its activities and mobilizing additional resources to support disadvantaged children more effectively. Commemorating the 80th anniversary of the Vietnam People's Army and the 35th anniversary of National Defense Day, the documentary exhibition Heroic Army, Strong National Defense opened Thursday morning at the National Library. The exhibition featured two main sections: the Vietnam People's Army 80 Years of Construction and Development and National Defense Day's role in strengthening national defense. Through 800 historical documents, the exhibition vividly illustrates the Vietnam People's Army formations, combat history, and development throughout its 80-year journey, alongside efforts to build strong foundations of national unity. This display aims to inspire pride and solidarity among the party, army, and people in their unified missions to protect the fatherland. The exhibition runs until December 30th. The Vietnam International Defense Expo 2024 officially kicked off Thursday morning at Gia Lâm Airport in Hanoi. It showcases dynamic performances by the Air Force, Special Forces, military bands, and border guards. The event highlight is the debut of advanced military equipment developed and manufactured by Vietnam's defense industry.
The Vietnamese Air Force show, featuring fighter jets and helicopters, stirred a profound sense of pride among spectators. This year's exhibition highlights 69 weapons and military assets presented by 77 domestic units, emphasizing Vietnam's self-reliant defense capabilities. Among the showcased innovations is the XCB-01 infantry fighting vehicle, developed and produced by the General Department of Defense Industry. Armed with 4 missile launchers, the XCB-01 can neutralize heavily armored enemy vehicles.
Our infantry fighting vehicle can navigate rough terraces and maneuver amphibiously. Its capacity is comparable to the US-made M113 and Russian BMP-1 armored tanks.
Another highlight is the TP-150 aircraft, designed for basic training and patrol missions.
We're moving forward step by step. Producing weapons cannot achieve success overnight, so we seek to learn from others as we progress.
The military equipment and weaponry on display reflect Vietnam's commitment to building a modern, self-reliant, and dual-use defense industry.
The expo will continue with high-tech weaponry seminars, offering visitors a closer look at the nation's defense achievements. The expo will be open to the public until December 22nd.
On December 19, the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism held a conference to evaluate the implementations of the Politburo Resolution number 08 on developing tourism into a spearhead economic sectors and enforcing the 2017 tourism law. Over 7 years, Vietnam tourism sector has established itself as a critical component of the socio-economic structure, significantly contributing to GDP growth. Developing new mechanisms and policies to address existing bottlenecks and enhance public-private partnership to mobilize social resources is essential to making tourism a leading economic sector. By 2030, tourism is expected to contribute 10 to 13% of GDP and become a spearhead economic sector. As part of the preserving and promoting the traditional culture values of ethnic groups in connections with tourism development project, efforts in Sơn La province have yielded positive outcomes. Since the beginning of the year, Sơn La Department of Culture, Sports and Tourism has organized 5 training courses to teach cultural heritage to over 300 ethnic group participants. Additionally, 8 courses have been conducted to enhance professional skills and provide training in tourism services. Local communities have been improving the quality of cultural performances, transforming them into unique tourism products that showcase the vibrant cultural image of Sơn La and attract visitors. Coming up next in our One News, Russian President chairs annual press conference and call-in program. And Fed lower rate indicates cautious approach to interest policies. Russian President Vladimir Putin held a direct dialogue with the Russian peoples on Thursday, part of his annual press conference. Notably, this year's event marked the debut of GigaChat, a Russian-developed AI chatbot to handle and analyze their submitted questions. The technology advanced capabilities allow for swift and accurate data analysis, enabling the categorizations of questions and demographic and geographic regions. Individuals under 18 primarily focused on educational issues, while citizens under 35 raised housing challenges. Meanwhile, older generation expressed greater interest in social and healthcare policies. However, the most pressing topic across all demographics included household, housing, transportation, infrastructures, healthcare, and nation domestic and foreign policies. The European Union will provide Ukraine with 13 billion euros from the Ukraine Fund and more than 18 billion euros from frozen Russian assets. The announcement was made by European Commission's President Ursula von der Leyen on Wednesday. She added that the European Union will continue its financial support of Ukraine with G7 partners and international financial institutions. According to Kiel Institute in Germany, the European Union has allocated approximately $125 billion in aid to Ukraine since Russia launched its special military operation in the country. Meanwhile, the United States has contributed over $90 billion to support Kyiv. However, aid to Ukraine is now under scrutiny following Donald Trump's victory in the U.S. presidential election. The U.S. Federal Reserve Fed lowered its key interest rate by a quarter percentage point on Wednesday, the third consecutive reduction since September. The Federal Open Market Committee cut its overnight borrowing rate to 4.25% to 4.5%. The Fed's post-meeting statement cited steady growth for the U.S. economy, with unemployment remaining low and inflation still elevated. The central bank emphasized that it will carefully evaluate incoming data, future outlooks, and risks when considering adjustment to its policy interest rate. Stock fell sharply following the Fed announcement. The Dow Jones Industrial Average recorded its 10th consecutive decline, marking its longest losing streak since 1974. For stroke patients, timing is everything. Many patients arrive at the hospital without anyone knowing exactly when the clock started ticking. Therefore, pointing out the moment their stroke began and understanding its progressions is vital for delivering life-saving treatments. In the following story, meet the new AI-powered software in England that is making it a reality.
New AI software can read the brain scans of stroke patients to more accurately determine the timing of the stroke and assist physicians in deciding if it can be effectively treated. The aim of this new technology is to provide more prompt and precise emergency treatment for patients in a hospital environment.
But by using imaging analysis that AI is able to help us with, this imaging analysis can very precisely relate the features of that grey area to the time of onset based upon a very large training set. And so we know from looking at new cases whether the intensity and the features of that stroke area, whether it is early and whether it's suitable for a person to be treated.
The software, devised by researchers from Imperial College London, Technical University of Munich, and Edinburgh University, addresses two of the most difficult challenges in assessing stroke patients, identifying the onset time of the stroke and whether the damage can be reversed.
And our calculations suggest that it means that about 50% more patients will be treated appropriately with the right treatments in the emergency situation. Not only can it help us understand when the stroke began and whether the treatments are suitable, but it can also help us understand what is going to happen to that person in the future.
A stroke occurs when the blood supply to part of the brain is blocked or reduced, preventing the brain tissue from getting oxygen and nutrition. Brain cells then start to die quickly. Knowing when the stroke started is crucial, as standard treatments are only effective in the very early stages following a stroke. Any delay could result in further harm.
And now, as usual, let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's it for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch your program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download a mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.